mystery around Benjamin Kingan's death has captivated us at People magazine from the very beginning.
Benjamin Kingan was a 16-month-old boy who attended Minnesubi Daycare in Lincolnshire, Illinois.
Wednesday, January 14th, 2009, was a very typical day for him. His mother, Amy, dropped him off at school, and he had a great, pleasant morning. He ate a healthy lunch, grilled cheese, tomato soup, and milk, and was just acting really normal.
Melissa, who was 22 years old at the time, she was an assistant teacher at the daycare.
She was the only adult in the room that day. I sat down with Melissa to hear what she had to say about the moments leading up to Benjamin's death.
I was watching the classroom. Everybody was fine. Kids, all of them were playing calm. Ben was still in his bouncy chair. He started falling asleep. And then a teacher from next door came in and was saying, "You can start bringing the kids over whenever you're ready." I walked over to Ben's bouncy chair, and I called for his name, and he didn't answer. And then next thing I know, I turned my head, and he had like orange foam coming out of his nose and mouth, and then I screamed into the intercom.
Her older sister, Crystal, who actually helped her get the job at this daycare, was at the front desk. She remembers hearing Melissa scream over the intercom, come running into the room, and seeing Ben foaming from the mouth in his bouncy chair. Melissa was frantic. Crystal quickly swept him up, put him on the changing table, and started to give him CPR.
I was in the corner. I was devastated because I didn't know what happened.
Within minutes, paramedics were called. They arrived with the police, and Ben was transported to the nearby hospital. But it was too late.
He was declared dead at 4:50. His parents hadn't even had a chance to arrive to the hospital and say goodbye.
Melissa came home that Wednesday night and told us that the boy had passed away. Thursday came, and they all went to school, and the school had basically had been shut down.
One day after Ben's death, on Thursday, January 15th, an autopsy was performed, and they concluded that he died from a skull fracture.
The forensic pathologist said that he died from a blow to his head, so police were convinced that a homicide had taken place.
That's when the police department and the Lake County Task Force started picking people up and started interviewing them.
Look to your left over there.
Melissa was brought from the daycare to a local police station with a couple detectives, and over 9 hours was interrogated in a small room at the police station.
When they interrogated me, it was horrible. I felt like somebody putting something against your head. It almost feels like that, but with words and pure pressure.
She said many times that she didn't do it, but eventually confessed to throwing Ben on the floor in a fit of anger.
And I slammed him on the tile, and I did not mean any harm at all. It was just frustration.
Just something that happened.
Yes.
It's simply, they work you over. They get into your mind, and they play these mind games with you, saying things, and they can lie to the individual.
At the end of Melissa's 3-week trial, prosecutor Christine Bishop spoke to the jury. She said that Melissa forcibly slammed Benjamin to the ground, and instead of protecting him, she hurt him.
In November 2011, at the end of the trial, Melissa was found guilty, sent to prison. She is now serving a 31-year sentence for killing Benjamin.
Almost 8 years now. I'm still locked up due to my confession.
Guess what? These x-rays that popped up that were withheld, no fracture, no broken bones.
"16-month-old Benjamin Kingan's mother, Amy, dropped him off at daycare, expecting it to be like any other day. But just hours later, Benjamin was dead.
At the beginning of this case, the coroner believed that Benjamin died from a skull fracture, and after an investigation, police were convinced that Melissa killed him.
I'm an innocent person who's been accused of a crime that I did not commit.
She left her entire family, she left her life, she left everything behind for something she didn't do. She's always maintained her innocence from day one.
But now her lawyers say that there's new evidence that could possibly set her free.
Finally, there's proof to where I'm actually innocent.
On June 10th, 2015, Melissa's father, Paul Calusinski, got an anonymous phone call saying that there was a second set of x-rays at the Lake County Coroner's office. Paul quickly called Lake County Coroner Dr. Thomas Rudd.
The coroner says that there was no skull fracture on these x-rays, which was the cornerstone of this case, that Benjamin died from a skull fracture.
Dr. Thomas Rudd saw these new x-rays and determined that Benjamin's manner of death was not a homicide, but actually undetermined. This was quite startling for the defense. Dr. Rudd said that there was a previous injury that caused these multiple concussions, that a kid could potentially hit his head, her head back, and cause this injury.
The state's attorney, Chrissy Bishop, said 39 times that my daughter threw this child down as if it was a 1 to 2 story fall and his child had a fracture. Guess what? These x-rays that popped up that were withheld, no fracture, no broken bones.
The prosecutors say these are not new x-rays. They say they're the exact same x-rays shown at trial, just bright in duplicates.
And based on these x-rays, the judge allowed a new hearing.
On September 30th, that judge declined Melissa's request for a trial.
It's not over yet. I'm not going to give up the fight. There's still hope.
Melissa's attorney, Kathleen Zellner, who's the attorney for Stephen Avery of Netflix hit show Making a Murderer, vowed to appeal the judge's ruling and is determined to get Melissa a new and fair trial.
She says that there's no proof that she committed a murder and that she was coerced into giving a confession.
When I sat down with Melissa in jail, she talked about that graphic confession and how she showed detectives how she slammed Benjamin on the ground.
And I went like, Dad.
She said she was completely manipulated and taken advantage of and felt like she would go home if she just told them what they wanted to hear.
What they really did to me was just so damaging. And when I finally figured it out and everything, it was late at night, and I tried telling them after I confessed. They treated me so horribly and wouldn't listen to me, and I was terrified.
Prosecutors say that Melissa knew she could ask for an attorney. She was read her Miranda rights right before 10 a.m. in the morning when she went in for that interrogation. And she signed the waiver, and they say that it was a true confession that she killed Benjamin Kingan. In court, it was revealed that Melissa has an overall IQ of 82 and a verbal IQ of 74, putting her in the borderline range, but not mentally retarded.
If it wasn't for my family, I think I'd be lost.
I know that she's not going to give up, and neither am I. I won't ever give up on my daughter. I won't stop until she's home.
The prosecutor is convinced that they have the right person who committed this crime, and they have Melissa's confession. So with every appeal that comes along, they're going to stand by their conviction.
Kathleen Zellner is already appealing the judge's ruling with the Appellate Court of Illinois and will continue to fight until Melissa's out of prison. People magazine will make sure to be there for every single twist and turn.
I'm never going to give up. I'm going to keep continuing to fight however long it takes.